Really, not because I like Moonglade, and I'm not just like saying that for hype, but that was what I honestly consider to be a failed six pool that turned out glorious in the end. Join off.
Yeah, that went really, really well.
Alright, so the final match will take place here on Polar Night, guys. A nice cold map to cool down after that match, I guess. But yeah, we'll see you in a sec. Map introductions on the way. Alright, now you guys might be wondering why the help menu is showing up, but more importantly, what this beer is doing here. Shout outs to Elo Run, as we can see here back when we get the Ace Kate, the Gourmand, as well as Moonglade versus MacSed, watching Base Trade TV and enjoying a beer, man. Shout out to him, thanks for tuning in. But guys, we are back into it. I actually have to change the spawn locations. There we go. This is Polar Night. This is the last map in this first best of 3 to start today. And of course, the SCS Championship Series is double elimination. So as stated several times at this point, regardless of who you love here, if your favorite goes out, it won't be the last of them. They essentially have one life to fall back on. I'm Rifkin, joined today by Zeph, and spawning here in the 6 o'clock location in the southern portion of Polar Night. It is the purple Zerg. Moonglade.
And in the north position, the red Protoss from Invictus Gaming. Will he be able to take it with a 2-1? It is MacSed.
I kind of like, though, this is, I almost want to consider this a, how do I phrase this, like a best of one series, where like both games didn't count because both players just went for some intense cheese, you know what I mean? But, we'll go the opening with a 13 pull here. This isn't anything too crazy. This isn't so different that it's an all-in. If there was a gas coming down immediately after, then yes, this would be for a lot of speedlings really quickly, but that's not going to be the case. Just getting it a little bit earlier so you get lings out a little bit faster in case there ends up being cannons once again.
Yeah, it's a smart way to go. And with the drone, he's even checking his main. He's that worried about something going down from MacSed that he's not exactly prepared for, but it's a cool thing to have done for MacSed, having cannon rushed him in the first game and in response in the second game, because that puts Moonglade on edge. It's going to make him play a lot safer, and he's going to have to be really, really thorough with his scouting. Doesn't want to get caught out by anything.
No, certainly not, but it is worth noting, guys, referencing back to game 1, it wasn't the lack of an earlier pool that got Moonglade killed, it was the lack of scouting. This pool is just so that he has units to deal with whatever MacSed may have, and if this is out quick enough, if he actually invests in 8 lings instead of 4, you can run past the cannon if it's a Forge expand, but that's not the case. We in fact have gateway expansions coming out of MacSed, so next is going to come down here real quick, along with a Mothership Core, and we saw how powerful a Mothership Core really can be.
Yeah, this is a pretty typical map for that gateway expand, so he's probably anticipating it a little bit as well. And you can just head across the map there, make sure that there's nothing fishy going on, just get confirmation that that expansion is indeed still down there. Of course, you've seen it with the Overlord, and now just repositioning that for later scouting. And then we should have, for once, a pretty quiet early game.
Nope, not at all, because these 4 lanes can get right on top of the pylon. Sorry, Zeph, denied. Now, fortunately, the Mothership Core's out, so going to the main not going to be a real thing, and MacSed is preparing for the worst. He doesn't know if there's a big ling follow-up of this, so one pylon goes down. He's not going to invest in the fall-off right away, but of course he needs his pylon for supply anyways. It's not like it's a bad thing to have down. Blocked here for just a moment, but again, he's not really in dire straits or anything, but... Alright, Moonglade gets over there, cancels a pylon, kills the other. Not a bad way to start this off with those 4 lings, which were, of course, intended to be anti-cannon lings more than anything else.
Yeah, just a little bit of annoyance there, and he's getting a the speed upgrade coming down, and he should have map control from there on. He's already got really good map vision. In fact, with the watchtowers in the middle of the map, he's got overlords getting spread out as well, so he should be able to see anything that's coming, and he's got a pretty good position to scout the base of MacSed. He's got one overlord watching the natural gas, and the other overlord that initially went across the map ready to be sacked into the main whenever he feels ready.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, because you've seen my mouse spasm about 3 times already, I did order a new mouse in hopes of getting this problem solved. It is a tad bit irritating for moi. But Stargate coming down here for MacSed, so we're going to see something a little bit more standard. I mean, it's most likely going to be Phoenixes, but I gotta be honest with you, Zeph, with the way these two have been tangoing, I wouldn't be shocked to see at least an Oracle into Phoenixes later.
Yeah, I mean, which Protoss doesn't love Oracles right now? It would be actually really cool to see an Oracle come out. I haven't even seen that yet, and that whole probe gets picked off as Ling's getting that speed kicked in.
That was First Blood. I thought we had already, because of the pylons, but... Oh, my bad.
The ball.
Dropping the ball. Drink! The base straight to drinking game whenever Rifkin misses First Blood. But okay, it is going to be Phoenix's as. Standard is as Standard does, and that's okay. MacSed is someone who can play Standard. Now, I do hate Polar Knight, only because of this natural choke. If you look at this, it really looks like there should be a gap in the wall between that gateway and the northeast or northwest part. Like, oh, it bugs me so much, but... Anyways, Ling's gonna roam around. They're gonna make sure there's no quick third or anything like that. Moonglade, of course, now has seen the fact that Phoenixes are his weapon of choice. He's gonna lose an Overlord or two to them. Actually, this is really important. The Overlord does go down, but I think he saw that Phoenix coming out, and it's really important to discern whether it's gonna be a second Phoenix or a Void Ray that follows it. But instead, gonna continue with the Phoenixes. Ling's gonna now try and clash into the main or the natural entrance way. Just barely can't get that sentry. Why did he evacuate, I wonder? Okay, well, Photon Overcharge will clean this up. Moonglade gonna run out of here and try and keep many Lings alive rather than go for probes. Not a bad choice.
Alright, cool. That was worrying for a sec. I thought he had a fair few more Lings than he actually did. That could have been really scary otherwise, but... Yeah, he clears out of there. He's got his third coming up now, which of course MacSed is scouted. And there's no Spore here just yet, so he can pick off a couple of drones if he so wishes, and he is indeed going to go for that. Be really annoying. Put a hiccup in the macro of Moonglade while he gets a few more Spores out.
This is a bit of a tell though right now though. By MacSed using energy on this, first off, he's revealed that there's only 3 Phoenixes so far. Moonglade doesn't know whether there's 4 or 5, but he's going to invest in double Spore Callers at each base to be safe anyways. But if you use your energy picking off drones, chances are you're not following with the push. You're not saving the energy for the attack. So Moonglade knows now, alright, my opponent's not coming at me. I can either play this super safe, which he is because he's going to keep droning, or he has to invest in an immediate army. And luckily for him, he's not having to invest in that immediate army.
Yeah, Stargate often signifies that good old, yes, I can draw in a little bit longer feeling for the Zerg. And we've got a bunch of Immortals and Sentries coming out on the field, and there's actually a pretty nice third position on this map for MacSed to take if he so wishes to go into a longer game against Moonglade here. And
yeah,
in the
that's
meantime,
actually...
Moonglade...
The third base of Moonglade is a bit odd to me, I find. This is not something you typically want. Oftentimes you see Zerg players, of course, expand out towards to this base, but because MacSed's not the guy who normally plays Warp Prism, it's fine for now, but we see the Warp Prism actually coming out, and the danger lies in not Sentries or Immortals coming out of that, but Warping and Zealots on this ledge on both the high and the low ground at the same time. Could be a little bit annoying. We'll see if that becomes a problem or not.
Yeah, we'll see if he gets in there. I mean, there's a lot of units in production for Moonglade right now. Lots of Roaches and Lings, so he can actually head across the map and try and deny this third. And if you look at what MacSed actually has out, it's not a lot. It's 4 Sentries, a few Phoenixes. Yeah, that'll help out. But if he gets a nice wide angle, that's going to be really annoying for MacSed to try and hold off and keep that third under his control.
Overlord going to be let live by the merciful Phoenixes, but what do you know, Zeph? Tunneling Claws coming out of Moonglade. This Void Ray is actually going to do work on this base, or on this Roach Army, because the Void Ray does bonus damage, overcharges now, or prismatically aligns, I mean. And as we see, the Roaches are going down pretty darn quick. This base might still go down, should still go down, but with nothing to oppose the air here, these 2 units are going to get quite a few kills.
Yeah, it's tricky for him to actually establish that base, because Moonglade, he is a king at 9/3 in all matchups I've seen. And now he's going to try and come down the front door, take out those gateways. They're very exposed, and there's only so many force fields available to him.
There's no observer! There's no observer!
Oh, really?
And no cannon up here. If he burrows, nothing's touching him. Oh no, he needs to get an observer out after this next abnormal, because of course what happens if Moonglade comes back, burrows through the force fields and just walks into the base? There's nothing, there's literally nothing there to stop him.
Oh man, that's so rough. I just assumed he would have had one by now, but man, Moonglade doesn't even know what he is. That he doesn't have one either, I don't think.
Okay, well...
He's backed right up, but he's continuing that unit production, so he can go for round 2. I mean, he's burrowed a Ling at that third base. He's going to be waiting for that.
Well, we did have the Prison Warp and a couple cells to the main. We got the Phoenix, of course, continue with the harass. Almost kill that Queen. Force use another Graviton Beam on it.
Oh wow, damn visits on that Queen's cross, that's pretty sick. We will clean up all of this, losing very minimal. Actually, it's killed 9 workers throughout this game, but that's still not a lot because Moonglade's been pretty much fine in the macro otherwise. Another 18 roaches on the way, and he's going to be maxed out pretty soon actually. Just barreling down the front door of MacSed, he is not going to be able to have this third base. No way.
No, absolutely. There's 2 Void Rays here this time. Twice as many, literally, but that doesn't matter because Moonglade, if you burrow, I believe the burrow tunneling clause out heals 1 Void Ray on you unprismatically aligned, but don't quote me on that. We do have these roaches pushing that door and don't even need to burrow if you knock down all the gateways, I guess.
Yeah, there's a lot of force fields here, so he can buy a little bit more time, but he's going to be very dismayed when he sees those roaches starting to burrow underneath his defense. But really nice moves, using these zealots to distract him once again, forcing Moonglade to pull back and use his reinforcements on this instead while his Spine Crawlers get up. Nice
burrow on that Queen, by the way, keeping this alive. It sucks rebuilding Queens, not because of the mineral cost, but of course the time it takes to get those next injects going. But now, not going to miss a beat. Moonglade is perfectly fine to continue injecting his hatcheries. Third Waste has not had that Queen reestablished, but the natural of the main needs to keep that larva production up at all times. Now approaching max with these roaches. We got some Hydras joining the army afterwards, but for the time being, knocking into this third base. Knock, knock, it's roaches once again. MacSed will not take a third base this game.
They certainly will not. The Stargate unit struggling to do what they can against this, and now the huge roach mass is threatening that army. That's actually a pretty good roach killing army with 4 immortals and a bunch of force fields in there. But as we've said 1,000 times already, you can close the gap very easily against that army, and especially with the Hydras with the added damage, that's just going to get even scarier.
Yeah, Hydra's pretty good at dealing with Sentry Immortal without bro shenanigans as is, but as we see, Moonglade is kind of roaming around.
Another warp in heading towards the main. I believe he's actually, yeah, already warped in 4 zealots preemptively. And when the time is right, I'm sure he'll pick those up and go for round 2 in the main. Perhaps while Moonglade is attacking him again to try and force him to pull back, buy a bit more time for those Colossi to come out.
Oh man, we're on the verge of a really good engagement. But what's scary is, even with those Colossus coming out, they will not have extended thermal lance. There's no way they match those Hydralisks. They of course have the same range as the Hydralisks, since these have grooved spines. So now coming in here with the roaches, force fields go down, but just gonna back away from it. Worst case scenario, he could just burrow through it. But I think for Moonglade, the biggest thing for these Hydralisks is gonna be sniping off that observer. There's only one.
Yeah, if he gets that, it's going to be super bad news bears for MacSed. Really nice force field so far, buying himself time, but the Nexus is finishing up and he's going to die straight away.
Surprise, no third base for you. Overcharge could go down, but it's probably going to be better off used on the time warp, but instead gets maybe 3 shots from it. Does go down, force fields are used, but oh, is that observer been picked off yet? No, still standing is this lone observer in the middle of the fight, but Hydra's going to shoot away at the Immortal, shoot away at the Stalkers. And actually, Moonglade threw away a lot of the roaches, not utilizing Burrow. I mean, you've got the tunneling claws, man. Why let the force fields beat you?
Wow, and Zealots are actually chewing up the third base of Moonglade in the meantime. We're up to 33 workers killed. He got very distracted there and didn't actually deal with that threat. Now the base is actually going to fall, and that is sick for MacSed. That's exactly what he needs right now, and he's going to take the opportunity and push.
Well, the Immortal's still standing from that last fight, a little bit scary as most of the Hydras did go down, but this Colossus now has Thermal Lance on him, something that was definitely lacking before, and all these Overlords actually might go down. Moonglade, who can't afford to get supply blocked right now, can barely afford to make an army, much less make more Overlords in order to make an army. 14 Hydras coming out any second now, but I don't know if that'll be in time.
It looks like he's actually just going to lose 1 overextension into that army, and there's just too much out from MacSed. There's nothing you can do about this.
Moonglade was looking so good. He had knocked down that base infinite times. Now we get the probes, or the drones being pulled at this point. Coming in from multiple angles, though. Going to definitely take a nice engagement here to the northwest. Is that going to be enough, though? Hydra's trying to come in, but there's just too many Immortals. Good game is called.
Wow.
MacSed will advance 2-1 over Moonglade and send Moonglade packing to the losers brackets.
That has got to be a painful loss for Moonglade. He was slapping MacSed around, and then 1 misstep, and MacSed capitalizes on that so well. Really well played to him.
I want to give a small shout out to